The ocean is a vast, unexplored world. We know little about its inhabitants, such as the enormous Krakens. They are greatly feared, but in reality, they are the true protectors of the sea. We meet one of this species' representatives. This girl is 15 years old. Her name is Ruby Gilman, and she's a typical teenager with her own joys and problems. Ruby's biggest dream is to attend her high school prom, which will soon be held on a ship. And yes, she doesn't know she's a Kraken. However, her parents aren't thrilled about the idea. Her mother, Agatha, is an experienced realtor and an excellent real estate salesperson. Her father, Arthur, works in a workshop, hosts his own show, and loves to cook. Her brother, Sam, is an undefeated dodgeball champion, and Ruby herself is a true child prodigy and algebra genius. They have the perfect family. Our happy family lives in the coastal town of Oceanville and pretends to be ordinary people who supposedly moved from Canada. That's why they're so blue. Ruby complains to her friends Margot, Travin, and Blease that her mom won't let her go to the school dance. They admit they're planning to go without her. After all, it's not their problem that Ruby's family is terrified of the ocean. And anyway, you could trick your mom and sneak into the ball, and even invite a cute boy named Connor. Getting him to accept requires a real art. You could even use a confetti cannon. And now we finally see Connor himself. He looks like a real school star. Ruby dreams of hearing him say the magic word yes. And it seems he really likes her too. Maybe the confetti cannon idea isn't so bad after all. Plucking up her courage, Ruby approaches Connor and prepares to ask him to the prom. She's so scared she feels sick. He takes the confetti cannon from her friend, and Ruby accidentally sets it off. The explosion sends Connor flying straight into the ocean. Ruby wants to save her beloved, but she's terrified of the ocean. Despite her fear, she jumps in. But what is that? Why is it glowing? Using some incredible powers, Ruby finds Connor and saves him. But Connor thinks it was their new classmate, a beautiful woman named Chelsea, who saved him. This narcissistic and cunning woman claims she was the one who pulled Connor out of the water. But that's a lie. Ruby wants to say something, but notices her hands are starting to glow again and runs away. The girl hides in the library, unable to understand why she's become like a flashlight. But that's not the worst of it. Ruby's legs and arms transform into enormous tentacles, and our heroine rapidly expands. The librarian enters the room and notices a bright light. A huge Kraken hovers above her head. Ruby continues to grow and destroy the library. Now the size of a skyscraper, people flee in terror, and the only one who isn't at all frightened by the enormous Kraken is the beautiful Chelsea. Meanwhile, her mother is holding another presentation of the new house for potential buyers. Stepping outside, Agatha spots her daughter, immediately gets into the car, and races towards school, only to hit someone along the way. It's another Kraken, her brother named Brill. Agatha bundles her relative into the car and drives on. Meanwhile, Ruby tries to hide in the forest, but there's nowhere to hide such a giant. Agatha finds her daughter and asks her to come home, but she won't fit in any house. Her mother says Ruby will definitely return to her old self, she just needs to wait a little while. Soon, our heroine truly returns to her original size and meets Brill. The family returns home, and Ruby immediately throws a tantrum. Why had her abilities been kept hidden from her all her life? Agatha explains to her daughter that contact with salt water turns her into a giant Kraken. Incidentally, only female Krakens have this ability. This news angers the girl even more, and she runs to her room. Realizing her mother is still hiding something from her, Ruby runs away from home and finds Brill. This poor guy is desperately fighting seagulls for a piece of hot dog. Ruby learns she has a grandmother and decides to visit her relative. She jumps into the ocean and instantly transforms. Now Ruby is once again a huge, shining Kraken with a multitude of tentacles. Uncle Brill jumps after her and shows her the way to her grandmother. Finally, she sees all the sea creatures she's read about in books. Ruby finds herself in the Kraken Kingdom and finally meets her grandmother. She is the true queen and warrior of the seven seas and asks to be called Grandmamman. Grandmamman treats her granddaughter to cookies and explains that she is the crown princess and will take the throne after Grandmamman. The girl nearly has a panic attack at this news. Her grandmother explains that the Kraken's job is to protect the ocean from sea monsters. The most dangerous of these are mermaids. It turns out that mermaids are narcissistic egotists who dream only of power. Their queen, Marisa, is the greatest evil in this world. She possesses an ancient relic, the trident of the Titan Oceanus. The Krakens fought the mermaids and won only thanks to the brave Agatha. It turns out Ruby's mother was the greatest warrior, but she didn't want to sit on the throne and left the ocean with her family to live like ordinary people. After some thought, Ruby also gives up the throne. She prefers school to ruling an underwater kingdom. She swims back, but on the way home, she's caught by an elderly sailor named Gordon Brewskill. This sea monster hunter nearly kills her. But suddenly, our heroine is saved by Chelsea. The new beauty in her class turns out to be a mermaid. The sailor throws a bomb into the water, but Ruby and Chelsea manage to swim away. Unlike Gordon, Chelsea says they'll be friends now. But Ruby is too tired from this crazy day and returns home. The next morning, Ruby tries to return to normal life and rushes to school. But a peaceful life is now out of the question. Everyone is discussing the appearance of a huge Kraken and the destroyed library. Ruby meets with her friends and they show her a recording made by Captain Brewskill. Ruby herself isn't visible in the recording, but she's terrified and hides in the restroom. There, she meets Chelsea and confesses her dream of being a normal teenager. The mermaid invites Ruby to skip school. They swim in the ocean and have a great time. Finally, there's no need to hide anything from each other. Chelsea tells her friend about the great battle for the Ocean Titan's trident, during which her mother, Queen Nereis, died. The mermaid asks Ruby to find the trident and give it to her as a sign of truce between the Krakens and the mermaids. Our naive heroine agrees with her pretty friend. Meanwhile, Kagat's brother, Brill, comes to visit again. The news broadcasts another report about a huge Kraken. Captain Gordon Brewskill is willing to do anything to catch it. So Arthur, Brill, and Sam join the furious sailor's crew, supposedly to help him hunt the Kraken. Chelsea knows where the trident is hidden, but she can't get to it. This requires the power of the most powerful Kraken, and Ruby clearly doesn't have that power yet. So our heroine returns to her grandmother and asks her to teach her how to harness the Kraken's power. As grandmama, she actively trains her granddaughter to harness the full power of the ocean, and also teaches them their signature move in eye laser. Ruby is getting stronger and stronger, but she still can't get the trident. Meanwhile, preparations for prom are underway at school. Ruby only talks to Chelsea and ignores all her old friends. Captain Gordon Brewskill finds the Kraken again, but Arthur, Brill, and Sam sabotage the ship and prevent the old man from capturing the sea monster. Instead of the Kraken, they slip the sailor an ordinary glowing jellyfish. Graduation night arrives. Ruby introduces her mother to her new friend, Chelsea. Agatha is furious that her daughter has befriended a mermaid. After all, they've been enemies for centuries. A disappointed Agatha forbids her daughter from seeing Chelsea and from seeing her grandmother. Enraged, Ruby transforms into a giant Kraken and flees into the ocean. Agatha goes to confront her mother. She confesses that Ruby has become friends with Nereis's daughter. Grandma is horrified because Nerissa never had children. And we return to Ruby. She has only one goal now, to get the trident for Chelsea. She's so filled with rage, anger, and hatred that she finally manages to overcome all obstacles and retrieve the mermaid's greatest artifact. A delighted Ruby brings the trident to her friend, and the mermaid finally admits that she is the queen of Nereis. The mermaid grows to gigantic proportions, boasts of having fooled the foolish Ruby, and pelts her with rocks. Meanwhile, at the graduation ball, a lonely Connor is sad. A giant mermaid rises from the depths of the sea with a magical trident in hand and is about to destroy the city. Agatha and Grandmammon appear and try to stop the villain, but she possesses a very powerful artifact, making the mermaid impossible to defeat. Brill dives into the ocean and finds Ruby. He helps her escape and restores her faith in herself. Then our heroine rises to the surface to stop the mad Nerissa. The entire school watches their furious duel with interest. Due to the naval battle, the ship where the graduation ball is taking place is about to be engulfed by a huge wave, but Ruby grabs it, lifts it aloft, and saves everyone from destruction. Having set down the ship, she continues the battle and uses her signature eye laser move. Ruby says the trident can be destroyed. She, along with her mother and grandmother, simultaneously use the eye laser move, destroying the trident, defeating Nerissa, and shrinking her back to normal size. Afterwards, Gordon catches the mermaid. Ruby forgives her mother for keeping the truth from her and returns to her prom. She's greeted as a true hero. Ruby makes peace with her friends and asks Connor to dance. Of course, he immediately accepts. Yes, his girlfriend is the Kraken. So what? After a while, everyone returns to their normal lives. Ruby and Connor are now a loving couple, and Ruby herself is Oceanville's protector. After all, the sea always meets the Kraken, and the Kraken always meets the sea.